Hello everyone, welcome to LUKMAAN IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu analysis of 14th December 2020. So let us see which are the important articles in today's The Hindu newspaper. Yes, so these are the important articles for mains purpose and for prelims purpose. So let us see one by one. First article on page number 7, op-ed page. The new article, recently we have discussed the context of this article, that is the China is going to build a new hydroelectric dam on Brahmaputra river near its region along the, let's say, Arunachal border. So the article is discussing that both India and China should not build the hydroelectric power plants in the upper reaches of Himalayas, and what are the consequences, especially negative consequences it is talking about on the fragile, let's say, because of the fragile ecology of Himalayan region, and how it may impact in future for, let's say, both countries, China, India, as well as the lower riparian countries like let's say Bangladesh. ठीक है, तो ये आर्टिकल से हमें कुछ इनपुट्स लेना है. So yes, what the article is talking about: negative consequences of building hydropower projects in Himalayas. So yes, China announced it's planning to build the major hydropower project as part of its 14th five-year plan on Yarlung Zangbo river. Now this is ब्रह्मपुत्र रिवर, ठीक है, तो उसको तिब्बत में यारलंग झांगबो नाम से उसको बोलते हैं. ओके, इंडिया इज ऑल्सो रिपोर्टेडली कंसिडरिंग 10 गीगावाट हाइड्रो पावर प्रोजेक्ट इन द ईस्टर्न स्टेट अरुणाचल प्रदेश. बोथ कंट्रीज इग्नोर हाउ वैल्यूएबल सच unviable such super dams project are, given that they are being planned in an area that is geologically unstable. Use these words. Okay, so already both countries are working towards building many such hydroelectric projects in that area. For example, two important hydro projects of India in Arunachal Pradesh on the tributaries of Brahmaputra, 600 megawatt Kameng project on Baichom and Tenga rivers, and 2000 megawatt Subhamshiri lower hydroelectric project. So you can mention these names of this project. And high seismic zones coincide with areas of high population concentration in Himalayan region where landslides and glacial lake outburst floods are common. So these are the threats. We can say that landslides and glacial lake outburst floods are common in that region. At the same time, they are high, let's say, population concentration region. About 15% of great earthquakes in 20th century with magnitude more than 8 occurred in Himalayan region. This is, let's say, already the nature has given the warning to us that this is ecologically fragile, or we can say seismically fragile region. Earthquake of 1950 and earthquake of 2015, recent one. Okay, so 1950 earthquake just south of McMahon line was 8.6 magnitude. It was largest continental event recorded and devastated Tibet and Assam. The earthquake killed thousands, caused extensive landslides, widespread land level changes. What happened is it resulted in water and mud oozing Himalayan regions and upper Assam valley. This dammed the rivers. And later on what happened is these dams were breached, generating flash floods in the downstream side, seriously silting the drainage system. Now this is one of the important factor, or let's say concern, that we need to understand here, that any kind of building of such dams, what will happen is, because of building of such dams, there will be some threats like heavy siltation from giant landslides will severely reduce the water holding capacity and life expectancy of dams. Now desilting of dams is not economically viable option and technologically challenging also. Okay, so reservoirs with their water load may alter the existing stresses and strain on the earth's crust in long term, impacting the frequency of earthquakes and then mechanism. So in this aspect you need to know that reservoir induced earthquakes, this is important aspect here, like the load of that water body is so much huge that It may increase the stress on the underlying earth crust and may bring changes, and therefore the frequency of earthquake and their mechanism may, let's say, change. Significance of Himalayas for us. Himalaya range is a transnational mountain chain and a chief driver of Asian climate. So, source of numerous Asian river systems and glaciers which are now under the threat of degradation and retreat due to global warming. These river systems provide water to billions of people. Okay, legacy of humanity has now become highly contentious with territorial disputes between the two nuclear powers that is going on between India and China. So, this affects already, let's say, the kind of bilateral relations between these two countries. So, what the way forward? Maharaj Pandit, a Himalayan ecologist, says that in recent years Himalayas have seen highest rate of deforestation and land use changes. So, he suggests that upper Himalayas should be converted into nature reserve by international agreement. At the same time, he says that there should be exploration of possibility of Himalayan River Commission involving all headwater and downstream countries needs to be explored. Now, this is one of the suggestion you can mention here, and the other suggestion like seek ways of transforming this roof of the world into natural reserve for the sake of humanity. A very good statement in the conclusion. Carbon neutrality should not be at the expense of environment. So, we can understand that hydroelectric power projects are, let's say, sought by both countries, especially to achieve the targets of carbon neutrality. जो China ने बोला है by 2060 they want to be carbon neutral. Also India wants to increase its share of renewable energy. तो ये सारी चीज़ों की वजह से the focus is on hydroelectric power projects. However, that should not be at the expense of environment. ऐसे end में हम बोल सकते हैं. Fine. So yes, this kind of question can be tackled, like carbon neutrality should not be at the expense of the environment. With reference to this statement, discuss the consequences of building large hydroelectric projects in the upper reaches of Himalayas by India and China. Such kind of question can be asked in GS3 paper, even in GS1 paper. Natural hazards, geography part भी है, ठीक है, और GS3 में भी रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी एंड एनवायरनमेंट और डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट इनको क्लब करके वो क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. इनोवेशंस फॉर क्लीनर एयर. नाउ द आर्टिकल इन इनिशियल पार्ट इट इज प्रोवाइडिंग द रिसेंट initiatives taken by the government of India to tackle air pollution in India. Along with that, some innovative technologies and the institutions which are involved in developing such technologies to tackle the air pollution. And in the end, it is talking about the way forward or need for some more innovative solutions. Okay, so what it is talking about, in the past decade, significant progress in monitoring air pollution, such as continuous ambient air quality monitoring stations have been established. At the same time, efforts in improving awareness of the citizens through campaign on the adverse impact of air pollution on health and environment. Establishment of Commission for Air Quality Management for, let's say, NCR region. Along with that, India shifted from BS4 to BS6, let's say, pollution norms. Then the focus of the government is moving towards e-mobility, Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, LPG gas supply for tackling indoor air pollution. There are many institutions involved, like Indian Agriculture Research Institute's PUSA biodecomposer, that was in news, we have discussed about it. The crop residue management, let's say the stubble burning that is going on in Punjab and Haryana region, and the subsequent impact on air pollution levels in Delhi and NCR region. So that's why a very cost efficient, cost effective alternative to stubble burning, PUSA biodecomposer have been developed. Along with that, UNDP is also promoting, United Nations Development Program is also promoting startup led innovations such as filterless retrofit device for cutting particulate matter at the source of industries and vehicles. At the same time, nature based solution to amplify air purification through breathing roots technology for improving indoor air quality. Such kind of technology is being developed and supported by UNDP. Need for innovative solutions. There is need to use advanced digital technologies such as geospatial technology and AI, artificial intelligence. For example, Geo AI platform ठीक है, तो ये क्या है, फॉर ब्रिक किन्स developed by UNDP in partnership University of Nottingham. It is supporting the environment regulators to identify non-compliant brick-kilns from the space. ठीक है, it has already identified some of the brick-kilns in Indo-Gangetic plains. Okay, so geospatial technology and AI, both technology have been clubbed, and it is now helping to identify, monitor and regulate, mitigate air pollution hotspot. The need of the hour is to provide enabling ecosystem for innovations to address context specific air pollution challenges. There is need to a significant government support in terms of, let's say, finance as well as the policy making. There is also need to extend support for IPR protection, intellectual property rights. Private sector has strong potential to develop commercially viable products to combat air pollution and boost innovation ecosystem. So some of the inputs can be taken like this bio decomposer, PUSA bio decomposer, UNDP startup led innovations, filterless retrofit device, Geo AI platform. Use these examples इन एयर पोल्यूशन रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन GS3 में और essay में, ठीक है, तो ये एग्जांपल्स आपने यूज करनी चाहिए. फाइन. नेक्स्ट, रेयर मेरिस्टिका स्वैम्प ट्री फ्रॉग फाउंड इन थ्रिसुर. सो यस, मेरिस्टिका स्वैम्प ट्री फ्रॉग, a rare arboreal species endemic to Western Ghats that bears the scientific name Mercurana Myristica palustris, has been recorded for the first time north of Shenkota Gap in the Vajachal Reserve Forest in Kerala's Thrissur district. So unlike Myristica swamp tree frog found in foothills of Agastya Malai, these frogs were found to be active throughout the June and early July and has adapted to the non-Myristica swamp predominant with the plant Polylthiga fragrans. These frogs are rare and elusive for the reason that they are arboreal and active only for few weeks during the breeding season. So characteristics of species, तो ये important होता है, rare, elusive and arboreal. Generally what happens is, we know that amphibians like frogs, they are found near the ground. But these species are tree species, arboreal, मतलब branches, tree branches के ऊपर रहते हैं, and they come down on the ground only for mating and breeding season. ठीक है, तो breeding season के लिए ही जो है ground पे आते हैं, तो इसलिए उसको unique breeding behavior बोला गया है. Fine. Next, invest in vaccine literacy, says experts. Now this term is important, vaccine literacy, and vaccine literacy is very important aspect in the vaccine rollout, which often does not get attention it deserves. Okay, so before the new vaccine is introduced, it is absolutely essential to build confidence of people, trust of the people, which is only possible through openness and transparency in sharing critical data. So for that purpose, it is essential to engage with civil society organizations in a dialogue, sharing data with them and asking them to disseminate information to the people at large. So this should be the approach to ensure the vaccine literacy. We can see that somehow misinformation, misunderstanding among the people about the vaccine efficacy. Some people are very skeptical to take the vaccine shots. तो ये सारा होने वाला है अभी जब vaccine roll out होगा. So that's why the clear information data about vaccine efficacy should be given to the people. This is the responsibility of the government. So vaccine literacy is the new term that will be in news in future. Okay, so these were important articles from today's The Hindu newspaper. For further information on editorial discussion classes or ED classes, wherein in-depth analysis of all mains related issues is done by Ansari Sir and team, you can contact LUKMAAN IAS. Thank you.